In my last video, I mentioned that I have a lot of projects, and I do have a lot of projects, and they're fun to do. And in my projects, I tend to do a fair amount of soldering, and it's always bothered me that there are fumes and smoke around me from the soldering, and I've always tried to get rid of them somehow. Now, there seems to be some debate online about this. People ask, is it bad to inhale solder fumes? And some other people say, no, it doesn't matter. And some people say it does. But it seems obvious common sense to me that if you're breathing in any kind of smoke, especially with sort of chemical constituents in it, then that can't be good for you. It can irritate your eyes, it can damage your respiratory system, and it's cumulative. So it's obviously best not to do it, or to get it away from you if you can. So I've made myself a new solder fume extractor. I've had them in the past, and here's a little video I took a couple of days ago of it working. And you can see on the left there are fumes all over the place, and on the right they're just disappearing into this fan, and it works really well. There's no trace of any fumes around me. The question is, why does it work so well when so often these sort of DIY fume extractors don't? And I've watched a few other people's videos and descriptions of DIY fume extractors, and they seem to be very ineffective, and some people say they're not effective. I think one of the main reasons that small DIY solder fume extractors don't work as effectively as they might is that a small, say 40mm or even 100mm computer fan is not powerful enough to pull the air through an activated charcoal filter as well. This is the kind of thing, this spongy foam, and it just isn't powerful enough. So I've tried this in the past. I tried to make myself a fume extractor. This is the remains of it. It's 3D printed, had a couple of fans in. I put the filter in front and it just wouldn't attract the fumes enough. So in the end, I very lazily left it running for quite a while, where it was just the plain fans pulling the air away from me. And although that is effective to an extent, it's probably not enough. So I've tried again, found it wasn't so great, and this time I've done it in a different way. So I've got my fan, and here's my original idea of just getting a cubic casing made 3D printed with a computer fan in it, attaching it to some power and just seeing how well it worked. And then I tried again putting a filter in and found it didn't really work. Here's another example of my printing. And so then I've tried a different tack. I've made my basic extractor, given it some legs, and actually added some LEDs, but then I've added a second chamber and a second fan. So how it works is that the fumes go into this fan, they sit in this red chamber, which is cubic, so it's as long as it is wide, and then a second fan in a second chamber pulls the air that's already in the red chamber through the filter. There's the filter, and the exhaust comes out the back. And one of the advantages of this is that in the red chamber the air is actually under pressure, because the front fan is creating a pressure in that direction. The airflow is being slightly resisted by the filter, and that means the air is pushing backwards, and it gives an added help to the second fan, which is having an easy time of just pulling it through the filter. And it does work. It's absolutely transformational. It works really well. Now I can run this on a battery pack. I've actually made it 12 volts. In my previous extractor, I made it run on 12 volts, but I used USB and a buck converter. It did work, but I'm not a great fan of that idea really, and especially with domestic 5-volt USB sockets, which can get overloaded. So I've decided to use either a battery pack, and one advantage of this is that I can use it absolutely anywhere. I can take it around the house with me, I can put it in the car, anywhere I need to do some soldering, and I can run it from a switched power supply and just plug it in, switch it on, leave it running while I'm soldering. So when I opened up the fan today, I found the filter was very discoloured, and that's clearly a sign to me that it's working. It's absorbing smoke and fumes. And so I've now popped a new filter in. All I have to do is cut it out from a sheet, pushed it in, and then I can just reassemble the fan and it's ready to use again. So as I say, this is a 2-part fan. I'm very happy with it. It's greatly enhanced the functionality of what I originally made. It's perfect for working in a small way on a desktop like I so often do, and for the many jobs I do. But I may need something bigger, so I've just purchased a couple of these larger computer fans, which are 4-pin PWM fans, so I might even control the speed a bit. And I'm going to try 3D printing a similar version of this, only on a bigger scale. So that'll be a bit more like the commercial desktop extractors you can buy. You can buy a great big tank like a vacuum cleaner with a hose, which clearly isn't going to work for me because I just haven't got the space and I can't vent it anywhere. Or you can buy a little desktop one, and they're a lot of money. So I don't want to deprive great manufacturers of their well-earned, well-deserved fees, but a couple of £100 for a fan in a plastic box is a bit beyond my budget, and I'm very happy to make it myself. So I think this is a really great idea. It's working well for me. If you think it might work for you, give it a try. At some point I may put my designs onto one of the websites where you can download the prints. Who knows? But anyway, in the meantime, I need to get on with some more projects. So I hope you found this interesting, and I'll be back soon with more videos about all my various projects. Thanks for watching.